So it's been a few months since I picked up this puppy, the Apple Watch Series 5, and it kinda was completely, but not totally, somewhat possibly, maybe a little bit predominantly, not too sure yet, a complete waste of money. Let's talk about what I mean. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, BMAC. And if this is your first time here to this channel, welcome, thanks for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe with all notifications turned on so you never miss another video on this channel. And if you're already subscribed or if you've been here before, welcome back. Last year I made a video about the Apple Watch Series 4, talking about whether or not it is worth the upgrade from the Series 3, which I haven't turned on in a while and is apparently restarting right now. So this year, with the Apple Watch Series 5 now out, of course we gotta make a new video talking about should you upgrade from the Apple Watch Series 4 to the Series 5. But if you have an Apple Watch Series 3, Series 2, Series 1, or God bless you, a Series 0, you're probably gonna wanna check out my Should You Upgrade to the Apple Watch Series 4 video before watching this video. Since the Apple Watch Series 5 is basically a continuation of the Series 4, that video will give you a good place to start. So click on that card annotation on the top right-hand corner of your screen, or click the link in the video description box below to be brought to that video. And then once you've watched it and come back here, let's get it poppin'. When it comes to the Series 5, I did already upload a Series 5 review video to this channel, and that video was pretty predominantly positive because the Series 5 is a phenomenal watch. It's not that much different from the Series 4, as we're about to find out, but it is still an amazing watch. As a standalone smartwatch, as a standalone Apple Watch, it is easily the best smartwatch on the market, and especially the best Apple Watch ever made. But having said that, I was pretty disappointed finding out about the Series 5. I actually was pretty negative during my live tweeting about the Series 5 when it was announced at the Apple Special Event Live Keynote. I was live tweeting my reaction during that keynote, and basically I was pretty upset because going from the Series 4 to the Series 5, when you've waited an entire year for a new Apple Watch to come out, going from the Series 4 to the Series 5, kind of a letdown. But I did want to clear that up because my review of this thing, the Series 5, positive, great device. Going from the Series 4 to the Series 5, well, yeah. When you break it all down, when you're going from the Apple Watch Series 4 to the Series 5, there are basically only 4 main features or upgrades that you're going to be getting. You will get that new always-on display. You will get that new built-in compass. You will get more storage. And you do get some new finishes that aren't available on the Series 4. Literally just those 4 things going from the Series 4 to the Series 5, that's all you're getting. Everything else about the Series 5 is pretty much identical to the Series 4. Is the exact same. The Series 5 isn't bigger or designed differently than the Series 4. The battery life is the same between the two Apple Watches. And the Series 5 is not faster than the Series 4, despite a new S5 chip, which we found out was actually the S4 chip brought over from the Series 4 and basically just rebranded. It's still the exact same chip. The two things are the exact same speed. But those are the features, so let's address them one by one and talk about whether or not those features are worth the upgrade from the Series 4 to the Series 5. Starting things out with that infamous always-on display. With that always-on display, I've already talked about this in my Series 5 review video. In my opinion, it's kind of a gimmick. When I first heard about the always-on display, when I was reading about it, I was pretty pumped up. I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't think this is a necessary feature. I don't think we need it, but now that it's here, I'll probably end up loving it. And I kind of haven't. It's kind of been like no change in a way for me. Mostly because of how it's implemented and how it works. There are some major issues with third-party apps blurring when you actually rotate the watch away from you, which, yes, makes sense. You want privacy with certain apps, but there's no way to change that in settings whatsoever. So for the majority of the cases in which I wanted an always-on display, when that always-on display would be helpful, when I turn my watch away from me and it blurs, all I'm getting is the time, which for me defeats the whole purpose of an always-on display, at least in most cases. And when the screen's not active or if you face it away from you, even though it's still on, it's pretty dim, and in brightly lit situations, it's super hard to see, so at the end of the day, I can't say I'm a fan. It's cool, I'm glad it's there, but it needs some work, and personally, I do not think it's worth the upgrade from the Series 4. It's not that substantial based on how it's actually working. But if for whatever reason that always-on display is a deal breaker for you and you love it and you need that, then, you know, something to consider. But then that brings me to the built-in compass. I could honestly say to you guys that I have used the built-in compass about 0 times. I've not used the built-in compass of the Series 5 once. I think literally the only time I've actually used it was for the demo I was giving on it in my Series 5 review video. That was literally, I don't even know if I still have the app on here. That was the last time I had the compass app open on my Series 5. And I knew that going into the Series 5 that was going to be a feature that I could understand some people would love, but me personally, don't need. Maybe if I was a little bit more active at the end of the summer or this past fall, I'd actually go out hiking and see why the compass app would be useful in certain situations, but that didn't happen. And even then, I'd be bringing my iPhone along with me, which has a built-in compass, so whatever I need a compass for, I'd have on my phone, and I don't need that in the Series 5. Again, like the always-on display, a feature that's cool to have, but in my opinion, unless you absolutely need a compass for whatever line of work you're in or whatever hobbies you're into and you can't have your phone with you, in my opinion, not worth the upgrade, again, from the Series 4 to the Series 5. Which quickly brings us to the next upgrade or feature of the Series 5, that additional storage. You do get a whopping 32 gigabytes of storage on the Series 5, up from 16 gigabytes on the Series 4. But once again, personally, I don't think that additional 16 gigs is needed, and I don't think the average consumer is even going to use those additional 16 gigs of storage space. Again, yes, a cool feature or upgrade to have those additional 16 gigs, sure, why not? But in the scope of just upgrading from the Series 4 to the Series 5, I really don't think that's gonna make or break your decision. I don't see that happening. And this is because I think 16 gigs is kind of the sweet spot in terms of storage space on the Apple Watch. With the 16 gigs I had on the Series 4, which I lived with for a year, I really cannot complain. That satisfied all my needs. That gave me plenty of music to store locally on the Apple Watch. That gave me plenty of room for apps. And when I was at the gym, my gym has Wi-Fi, so I would just stream my entire Apple Music library on my Apple Watch anyway. Didn't even need to store those songs locally. But credit where credit is due, you do get twice the amount of storage on the Series 5, 32 gigs up from 16 on the Series 4. Personally, I don't think that's really necessary. I don't think a lot of people will need it, but if you, for whatever reason, need 32 gigs of space on your Apple Watch, it's there for you on the Series 5, but chances are you'll be fine with the 16 on the Series 4. And just to mention, 32 gigs on the Apple Watch, that is half the amount of storage space on the entry-level iPad Pro. Kinda nuts to think about that when you put things into comparison, but that's for a different video. Which brings us to one of the most enticing upgrades, which is kind of sad when you think about it, of the Series 5, the finishes. On the Apple Watch Series 5, you do get new ceramic and titanium finishes. The Apple Watch Series 3 is available in a ceramic finish, but that new titanium finish is exclusive to the Series 5. And I will admit here, I have personally never really considered getting the stainless steel or ceramic version of the Apple Watch. Not really my look, not really my style. I like that matte black textured finish, which is why this year I kind of was eyeballing that space black titanium finish on the Series 5. I will fully admit, it looks amazing, looks so sexy. But unfortunately, the higher end finishes, like the titanium finish on the Series 5, is only available on the GPS and cellular versions of the Apple Watch Series 5. And you guys already know, if you're subscribed to this channel or if you've seen my Apple Watch videos before, I have an entire video discussing why personally I don't have any need for the cellular Apple Watch. If you want to check out that video breaking down the GPS only versus GPS and cellular Apple Watch models, you can click that card annotation that's gonna pop up top right-hand corner of your screen. Or again, link to that video and all my Apple Watch videos will be in the video description box below. So considering the fact that the titanium finish of the Apple Watch Series 5 is only available on the GPS and cellular model of the Series 5, and the fact that I didn't really feel like wearing an $850 watch to the gym, I said, nah. I said, no, I will go with my typical space gray aluminum finish on the Series 5, which is what I have here, which is what I get every single time. But if you really need, for whatever reason, to have a ceramic version of the Apple Watch Series 5 or a titanium version, by all means, look at those finishes, because they are available on the Series 5 and are not available on the Series 4, which is right here. Got it mixed up for a second. So where does that leave us as it relates to upgrading to the Apple Watch Series 5 from the Series 4? Like I said at the beginning of this video, if you either watch my Series 5 review video or watch my Should You Upgrade to the Apple Watch Series 4 video, you should know by now that still I think the Series 5 amazing device. But if you're contemplating upgrading from the Series 4 to the Series 5, unless you need those key 4 upgrades and features, unless you absolutely need an always-on display, a compass, some additional storage, or those additional finishes, unless you absolutely need any of those, if you have the Series 4, just keep your Series 4. Stick with it. The Series 5 is not that substantial of an upgrade over the Series 4, and if you ask me, just stick with your Series 4, wait it out another year, save your money until the Series 6 comes out. which hopefully will be a lot different than the Series 5 in terms of upgrades and features, so it's actually worth upgrading to. But if you do have the Apple Watch Series 0, 1, 2, or 3, upgrading to the Series 5 will be a substantial upgrade, again, because you get all those features of the Series 4 in the Series 5, but something to consider here, again, if you do not need those features of the Series 5, maybe consider finding yourself a Series 4. Apple is not directly selling the Series 4 any longer, but there still are some retailers that are selling what is, I guess, presumably left over. And I have seen some Series 4 Apple Watches going for a whopping $100 less than the Series 5. So if you could find one of those deals, I would snag it while you can. I'll be sure to leave some affiliate links in the video description box below where you can take advantage of some of those deals. So again, affiliate links to those links in the video description box below, alongside my other Apple Watch videos, including my Apple Watch review videos and my Apple Watch bands and accessories information. All that, video description box below. Check it out. But enough of me blabbering on about why I don't think the Apple Watch Series 5 is worth the upgrade over the Series 4. What do you guys think? Personally, I say nay, but maybe you say, hey, yes. That sounded better in my head. That didn't really rhyme, but you get my idea. Thoughts and comments below. In the meantime, I'm gonna go justify this $400 compass I just bought for my arm. I will see you guys in my next video. You know, technically it's not just a $400 compass. Technically it's an always-on $400 compass. Until you run out of battery in the middle of the woods, in which case you then have a $400 piece of metal on your arm. Sheesh.